second one, the big news story that's happening right now in the gaming media all across the internet. Something that I've been talking about for years, and apparently people in the mainstream don't listen or don't want to hear it. I don't know. They think that I'm some kind of a conspiracy theorist. The unprofessionalism of the gaming media out there right now, and what is now being called Gamergate, okay? I'm going to give you the very, very short version of the story, because I'm not going to go into the sultry details of the sexual aspect of everything that happened. Here's the deal in a nutshell. There was a female game developer. This female game developer was making an indie game. She engaged, apparently, allegedly, I don't know because I wasn't part of this, thank God, in sexual activity and or relationships with up to 5 different males who were all involved in different facets of gaming media on the internet, including, supposedly, I think the biggest one was Kotaku. And I think there's rumors about other ones as well. But basically, she had relationships with all of these guys. Now, it is absolutely incredibly unclear whether or not, I think anyone could prove, right, that the reason that she was with these guys, sleeping with these guys, whatever she did with these guys, had anything to do with her game. How could you prove that? You can't. From my perspective, that's unfair. That's speculation. It's wild speculation. But the wild speculation that's out on the internet right now is that this girl was kind of going and sleeping around with people, all right, in exchange for them mentioning her game on their jobs, okay? So not necessarily that they were writing a full review of the game and giving it an unfair, positive stuff about the game. In fact, apparently the biggest one, which is Kotaku, the guy who she had a relationship with apparently never wrote a review of her game. He never reviewed it. Maybe he mentioned it on his Twitter feed a few times, and maybe in a blog post on Kotaku a couple times he mentioned it, but it wasn't like he was constantly rattling off positivity and then reviewed it unfairly or anything like that, okay? So, that's supposedly the story behind this whole, what they're calling Gamergate, and the big, of course, the overhyping drama queens of the internet who cover shit like this are saying, so this means that behind the scenes there's all kinds of sordid, sultry, torrid, sexual affairs going on in the gaming media, and this means that everyone who's involved in the gaming media is fucking the game developers, and the game developers are either paying them or fucking them in exchange for attention, and, you know, it's kind of out of control in my opinion. It really is out of control in my opinion, and here's why. Here's why. All right, number one. People's personal experience, sexual experience, all that stuff is their own business. No one should ever be, oh, I want to know about what this guy, who fucked who and who's, you know, that's TMZ shit. That's like immature kiddie shit. And yeah, I know TMZ is huge and is a very popular TV show and website. You shouldn't be. Because if you're mature, you don't give a fuck of anything that's on TMZ. It's a completely worthless business. It's just for people who are little kitty drama queens who want to be all uppity about stupid shit instead of spending their time on important stuff. Okay? You have no right to be in anyone's business. Who fucked who blew who butt fucked who, I don't care. I don't give a shit about who's fucking who. It's none of our business. We shouldn't give a crap, alright? I've said for a long time now, a very long time, that gaming media, per se, is not very professional. We know for a fact, if you look at the people who are involved in gaming media, okay, first of all, I don't believe that there is formal gaming media. I think it is a bunch of corporations throwing money at stuff to try to make a buck. And so if you can make a news story, oh, this is big news, oh, we can get views, site page views or whatever, we can make big bucks off of it, off of advertisement revenue. And that's really what it's all about. It's not about the core of the story or the news that's being relayed in the story. It's about getting the ad revenue and getting the views, because they're all businesses. They don't care about getting the story out there. They care about this and getting the views and the attention, okay? The people in the gaming media, all right, from what I've seen, compared to other facets of stuff that I've seen, are incredibly unprofessional. You review a game, and you read the game review, and the game review is 90% personal opinion because you don't like the game, and 10% fact, and then you destroy the game in the review instead of objectively weighing it against the other games. That's completely and utterly irresponsible game review. But I'm not going to go into detail about game reviews because I've done it before. A lot of people disagree with me. They say review's an opinion. I say bullshit. A review is part opinion, part fact, and it needs to be weighed properly. But I digress. From what I've seen, the people in the gaming media are incredibly unprofessional, to the point where even if you try to bring up a valid point, they now say, oh, that guy's just a troll, and then they just ignore you, right? They don't want to hear it because they think they're in this inclusive group of people in the in crowd who are talking heads who can talk about video games. I am a fully backed believer here. I'm backing people like me who play a game, okay, independently. You're not looking to get anything out of it or anything. And then you give your honest opinions on the game. I think that someone who is not involved in that gaming media, who's not necessarily making a solid paycheck every month doing it, those are the people that you can believe, because why do they have any incentive to lie? You know what I mean? So I love the YouTube revolution that everyone can talk about stuff and give their movie reviews and opinions about games and stuff independently, and that people are getting viewership and getting their opinions out there. I would trust that person 1,000,000% more than the talking head on some gaming website. I would. That's me. That's my mentality. Okay? But that's just me. Maybe I'm different. Okay? I know, personally, that if I'm going to a website like IGN, like Kotaku, like whoever was involved in this, because I know there was a ton of them that were listed, and I don't even know. I don't care about the details of it. You need to take that with a grain of salt, and you have to understand that if someone's mentioning something, it's probably because there's a reason behind it. If someone keeps mentioning a game over and over, it's either probably because they really like the game personally, or because they know the person who's developing the game. There's a reason. And it's okay for you to watch a person because you like them or you find them entertaining, or to read their content because you seem to have a like mind. That's probably the best way to find out if something is good or not, dependent on someone who's like you, who's talking about that game. But for people to say, oh, well, the gaming media was supposed to be Bible truth about everything, and now it's been blown open that some people have been, irresponsibly giving promotion to stuff because they're sleeping with a woman who's developing the game, I say, wake the fuck up, dumbass. Because this has been going on forever. IGN giving insanely high reviews to Halo games that are 4 hours long. Call of Duty getting 9s in every major fucking media outlet almost every year when it's the same game every year. I mean, it's pretty apparent that it's not legit. Yet people like, oh my god, all of a sudden my eyes have been opened. Like, it took a sex scandal for your eyes to be opened. Not the fact that you just buy into the hype of whatever's promoted every year, and you buy it like a sheep, and then you realize the game's not so good when you get home. That wasn't enough for you. You needed to have a girl sleep with 5 dudes in the gaming industry, or the gaming media, to think that it's not, you know what I mean? It's just, what the hell? Seriously, it's just, it's so dumb. It's so, oh, look at this. Thank you. All right, so I was just going to say, some idiot in the stream chat. It's just so dumb. It's, for me, in my head, it's like, I know that when I read something on the internet, that it's not Bible truth. But there are people who read a review, or read a blog post, or read a tweet. Well, if this guy said the game's good, and that's all I care about. You know, he said it's good, it must be. So I'm going to go play it. Or this guy gave the game a 9 out of 10. Metacritic says it's a 95 out of 100, despite the fact that it's all the big major outlets that gave it 100, and then everyone else said it was a 60. Well, it must be a great game because Metacritic says it's a 95. Stop being sheep. Stop being the kind of person who relies on this kind of, you know what I mean? This mentality of the gaming media is some kind of an irrefutable source of information. They're not. In fact, they're way less professional than other media outlets. For example, CNN and things like that. For media outlets that have been around forever, even they, a lot of the times, can be this sensationalistic and do stuff just for attention. So why would you think the gaming media is any different? It's all the same. You know what I mean? There really is no, one super professional source for information. So people say, Gamergate, because now finally the walls are tumbling down and we can't trust anyone in the gaming media. I never did. Like I said, I trust the independents over these pundits, these bigwig websites who supposedly get the authoritative statement about games and gaming and if a game's good, versus the individual who actually has no stake or nothing to gain by saying a game is better or worse. So, supposedly that's the situation. I don't know. Again, I don't care, but that's the controversy going on, okay?